Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by today. We are back at Eric's with the paperweight Duramax. As you know from Monday's video, we did an unboxing on some sway bar end links, and that is what we're going to be installing today. We are also going to be proud to announce that this video is also sponsored by Kroil, and without Kroil, a lot of stuff would be a lot harder in my life when it comes to working on my own vehicles, whether it's this truck, Eric's truck, my Trailblazer, everything, father-in-law's vehicles, everything. This Kroil makes an absolute difference for all your oil penetrant. Make sure you go ahead and check them out if you have not already. I'll leave their link in the description below for where you can buy it. You can get it on Amazon, so make sure you guys go ahead and get it from Amazon if you can. All right, like I said, here is the kit for the sway bar end links from KRYPTONITE. I will leave the link in the description below for this kit. I will leave my unboxing link in the description below, and I also leave a link in the description below for the Kroil products that they have for their main website and where you can also go buy that. Now the great thing about Kroil is it's a product that you don't have to use any heat with. It also is going to help prevent any damage to your tools when you're dealing with stuff that may be stubborn. And typically I just like to always use it. Even when I'm working on something that may not be stuck or seized, I definitely want to use it because you always want to try and extend the longevity of your tools. And this is the type of product that will definitely help what you have to do. So right below here, we're gonna go ahead and get this one started soaking. Now, like I said, more than likely, I probably don't have to use it on this, but I always like to use oil penetrant no matter when I'm taking any type of nut or bolt off, because you never know if it is gonna be seized on or not, and you really don't wanna risk shattering, say, an impact socket or a chrome socket if you throw it on there. So it really does help the longevity of your tools and simply the wear and tear on your drills and your impacts and stuff like that. And you can use it as cutting oil as well, not Kroil itself, but Kroil with silicone. That product right there, you can use as cutting oil, and I use that on my job all the time. So my suggestion would be is that you're going to want to put a channel locks on this to hold onto it for when you go ahead and take your nut off on the bottom. And now down here we have a 15 millimeter. So that way you got that side up, we can just lift up on the sway bar there, and it just falls right on out for you. All right, so now this is where I have to admit, this is where I messed up. When I did this in my driveway, I didn't even think, I don't know why I didn't even think about it, maybe because it was super hot out and it was, you know, mid-August, I believe, when I did it. I don't remember exactly when I did it, but it was really hot out when I did it, and maybe that's why I didn't think of it. But I didn't take the other side off when I went to take my one side off, or even put the other side in. Actually, I cut mine out because mine were so bad. But anyways, I didn't take the other side off when I went to install the new ones, and it was an absolute pain to do that. So just make sure you take both sides out, and then when we install them, I'll show you exactly what we're gonna do and able to make sure that you can install both sides with a little wiggle room. But right here, I wanna show you the difference now. This is pretty much what's holding your sway bar in, is this little bolt right here. Now this right here is only a sleeve, and you know, Eric's bushings are actually not that bad. They're compressed, that's for sure. They're not as nice as these ones, but like I said, this is just a sleeve, and this is the actual bolt that holds the whole thing together. And this is what typically fail, or usually your bushings like this are just completely gone. So it's very nice to upgrade to these type of bushings. It's nice to obviously upgrade to way beefier, heavy duty type of sway bar end links, and you are really truly going to feel the difference. And you'll see that when we do a review on the actual driving test of these sway bar end links. Now we're gonna waste no time and go ahead and just install them. We're gonna show you exactly how to do one side, and then we'll get the other side in. I'll show you that we're not gonna tighten down one side and then go to the other side. You wanna just get it all put together, and then you want to tighten it down. All right, so the first step is we're gonna go ahead and get the clevis installed, and you don't have to do any drilling on this. It's gonna fit just right as it should. This nut right here is going to be a 24 millimeter, so keep that in mind when you're installing this, when you're looking for your parts and what exactly you're going to need for tools. All right, so the next step is we're gonna go ahead and get the sway bar end link itself installed. And then you're obviously going to use your nice grade 8 hardware that you get from KRYPTONITE. Again, absolute big fan of this. Now I am going to tighten this one down because it doesn't really matter if this one's tight or not. Now this is a 19 millimeter. All right, so you're gonna go ahead and get your bolt in here. The first step is you're gonna go ahead and get your washer on. Then you're gonna get your first bushing on, just like that. And then underneath, you're gonna have a washer and then a bushing as well. Now, like I said, the reason why you want to have both of these off and the reason why you have this loose is so you can figure out your orientation, the proper orientation of what you're supposed to have. That is the one downfall of the instructions I do have a comment on, is the simple orientation of this bottom clevis here. But anyways, you're gonna go ahead and make sure you get your bushing on, then your washer, then you go ahead and start getting this threaded in. And as long as you keep this nice and loose, it will find its own home. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this started to get tightened down a little bit. I don't want it tightened down too much, obviously, because we need to be able to move the other side of the sway bar so we can get the other one in. All right, so now once you get the other side done, you're gonna go ahead and come back up here and you're gonna make sure that you're gonna tighten this back down, and you're gonna make sure that these bushings just slightly bulge out. You don't wanna crank them down too much, but just crank them down to where you start noticing them move, and then you're good on that. And then once we get to this point, once we get to that point, I'm gonna go ahead then and show you the torque specs for what you need on this install. I do believe there's just one torque spec which you'll actually need, and I think it's on the bottom of the clevis. Don't quote me on that right now, because obviously I'm not looking at the instructions or anything like that. But once you get this down, as you can see here, now I'm just starting to get close. You're gonna start seeing it start to come down on itself here. And once it comes down on itself, then you can kind of feel. So if you look at my hand placement, I don't know if you can see my hand placement, you can see that I have one finger on the bushing itself, and that is so that I can actually feel that bushing when it starts to bulge out and compress. That way I know, okay, now we're gonna stop, because quite honestly, I don't have the best view of these bushings right now, so I don't wanna do it too crazy, and there you go. So right here, you're gonna have the clevis on the very lower part of the control arm. That's gonna be 70 foot-pounds. And then the 1/2 inch hardware that is through the sway bar end link into your lower clevis, that's gonna be 60 foot-pounds. So simply put, this bolt right here, this is gonna be 60 foot-pounds. This bottom nut over here, this one is gonna be 70 foot-pounds. All right, so one more thing in regards to this install, they do recommend that you add an ample amount of Loctite to that bolt that you go into the sway bar end link. We didn't necessarily think that it was needed, just simply because, well, there's a lot of corrosion here in Wisconsin that's gonna fill up just fine. I didn't use it on mine. I really don't think it's 100% necessary. Obviously, they're gonna recommend it, but that's up to you if you want to use it or not. It's only recommended, it's not required. So make sure you get your torque specs down to what you actually need it to be torqued to. That's very, very important, you guys. Anytime they recommend torque specs, definitely use that torque spec, okay? I want to make sure that you understand whenever you see torque spec, don't just go ahead and throw ugga-duggas on it. Make sure you torque it to the proper amount that the engineers actually are suggesting that you do it for. So that being said, make sure you guys go ahead and like this video and hit that subscribe button if you're already subscribed. Please hit that bell button so you get those notifications. Thank you again to Kroil for hopping on the channel and sponsoring today's video. It is a great opportunity to be able to have a sponsor like them. They're great people there over at Kroil. They help me a lot with everything. Every install that I do, I pretty much use Kroil. I've always used it, so make sure you guys check the link in the description for Kroil out. Make sure you check out the link in the description for the sway bar end links and my unboxing video if you have not already. Have yourselves a great night. Have yourselves a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next video.